The radar screen flickered once, then went dark. In that single heartbeat of electronic silence, 4 American lives were about to end, and the entire balance of Pacific naval power was about to shatter like glass. August 2025. 2 invisible warships. 1 impossible decision. 12 minutes that would rewrite everything we thought we knew about modern warfare. This is the story of how the world's most expensive destroyer met China's deadliest weapon, and what happened next changed naval combat forever. The South China Sea was deceptively calm that morning in late August, its waters hiding a technological duel that had been unfolding for 6 hours. Beneath the surface piece, America's $4.4 billion USS Zumwalt was being stalked by something she couldn't see. China's Type-055 destroyer Nanchang, a $1.8 billion stealth killer carrying enough firepower to level a small city. Both ships were ghosts. Both were hunting. Only one would survive. Captain Sarah Mitchell stood in the Zumwalt's Combat Information Center that early morning, unaware that 47 nautical miles to the northwest, Chinese Captain Li Wei was studying her ship's faint quantum signature on a revolutionary detection system that shouldn't have been able to see her at all. The Zumwalt was supposed to be invisible. Her radar cross-section measured just 0.01 square meters, smaller than a rowboat despite weighing 15,656 tons. Every angle of her hull was designed to deflect enemy radar into harmless scatter, every system optimized for stealth. To the world, she was a phantom cutting through international waters at 18 knots. But the Chinese had changed the rules. Their quantum radar didn't rely on conventional radar returns. It detected fluctuations in the electromagnetic field itself, spotting disturbances that traditional stealth couldn't hide. For 6 hours, the Nanchang had been building a complete tactical picture of America's most advanced warship, staying just beyond the range of American sensors, learning her patterns, studying her movements. Captain Lee had orders from the Eastern Theater Command: shadow, observe, and be prepared to engage if necessary. The Zumwalt was magnificent in her technological sophistication. Powered by 2 Rolls-Royce MT-30 gas turbines generating 78 megawatts, enough electricity to power a small city, she carried 147 of the Navy's elite personnel. Her 80 vertical launch cells held $180 million worth of SM-2, SM-6, and Tomahawk missiles. Her advanced gun system could fire GPS-guided projectiles 83 nautical miles with pinpoint accuracy. She was, in every measurable way, the pinnacle of American naval engineering. The Nanchang was equally formidable. At 180 meters, she carried 112 vertical launch cells loaded with YJ-21 hypersonic anti-ship missiles, HHQ-9B surface-to-air missiles, and CJ-10 land attack cruise missiles. Her dual-band radar could track 1,000 targets simultaneously. Her own stealth coating made her nearly as undetectable as her American counterpart. 2 apex predators circling in waters where territorial claims overlapped and international law blurred into dangerous ambiguity. Hours into the patrol, around mid-morning, Captain Mitchell made the decision that would trigger everything. She ordered a routine helicopter patrol, standard operating procedure for freedom of navigation operations. The MH-60R Seahawk, callsign Seahorse 1, lifted off from the destroyer's flight deck, carrying advanced sensors and electronic surveillance equipment. Lieutenant Commander Jessica Torres took the controls, her mission simple: conduct an anti-submarine warfare sweep and gather intelligence on any contacts in the area. She had no idea she was flying into history's crosshairs. 15 nautical miles from the Zumwalt, Seahorse 1's radar detected something impossible. A faint, anomalous return bearing 315 degrees, range 28 miles. The signature was barely above background noise, but it was there, consistent with a large surface combatant trying very hard not to be seen. Torres keyed her radio. Zumwalt control, Seahorse 1, possible surface contact bearing 315 degrees, range 28 miles. Signature consistent with major surface combatant, investigating. Aboard the Nanchang, Senior Chief Petty Officer Zhang Ming watched his screen with rising alarm. The American helicopter was vectoring directly toward their position. Its flight pattern was too precise to be coincidental. Captain Lee faced the decision every commander dreads: maintain concealment and risk closer detection, or eliminate the threat and reveal your position. The helicopter was now just kilometers away and closing. If it achieved visual contact or deployed sonobuoys, their entire mission would be compromised. Weapons control. Captain Lee's voice was steady despite the weight of his order. Prepare HHQ-9B missile for helicopter engagement. Single missile, proximity fuse. The Combat Information Center went silent. Everyone understood what this meant. Firing on an American helicopter was an act of war, but the alternative was mission failure. Just before noon, Seahorse 1 was closing in on the Chinese destroyer. Torres was focused on the strengthening radar return when her sensor operator's voice came through. "I'm getting a clearer picture. Definitely a large surface combatant, possibly destroyer class. Signature is weird though, almost like it's designed to scatter radar." The 1,300-pound HHQ-9B missile launched moments later. It accelerated to Mach 4.2, its active radar seeker painting the helicopter with targeting energy. Torres saw the exhaust plume for perhaps 2 seconds before 180 pounds of high explosive detonated 50 feet from her aircraft. The MH-60R disintegrated. 4 American lives ended in a fireball that scattered wreckage across half a mile of ocean, leaving only an oil slick and floating debris to mark where Seahorse 1 had died. The transponder signal vanished from Captain Mitchell's screen seconds later, replaced by the unmistakable signature of a missile detonation. Her voice cut through the Combat Information Center with cold clarity. "All stations, this is the captain. We have lost Seahorse 1 to hostile action. General quarters, all hands man your battle stations. This is not a drill." The Zumwalt transformed in under 2 minutes. Vertical launch cells armed. The advanced gun system rotated toward the last known position of the helicopter. Electronic warfare systems began flooding the electromagnetic spectrum with jamming signals. Weapons control. Mitchell's eyes never left her tactical display. "I want a firing solution on the contact that killed our helicopter. Authorization Bravo 77. The authorization code unlocked the Zumwalt's most lethal capabilities. Her combat management system calculated the hostile contact's most likely position based on the missile's trajectory and Seahorse 1's final location. Within minutes, 4 RGM-109E Tomahawk missiles erupted from the Zumwalt's launch cells, each carrying a 1,000-pound warhead, streaking toward the Chinese destroyer at 550 miles per hour, just 50 feet above the waves. But Captain Lee had anticipated this response. The moment his missile destroyed the American helicopter, he ordered a pre-planned evasion maneuver, a high-speed turn to starboard, while launching electronic countermeasures and chaff clouds. The Nanchang's Type 1130 close-in weapon system came alive, its 11-barrel Gatling gun spitting 10,000 rounds per minute. The first Tomahawk disintegrated under a hail of 30mm tungsten rounds at 2,000 meters. The second and third fell to electronic jamming and HHQ 10-point defense missiles. The fourth Tomahawk penetrated the defensive screen. It detonated against the Nanchang's forward superstructure moments later, blowing a 15-foot hole in her stealth plating. 8 Chinese sailors died instantly. The damage was significant but not crippling. Captain Lee's face hardened as damage reports flooded in. He was now authorized to use his most devastating weapon, the YJ-21 Hypersonic anti-ship missile, China's $15 million answer to American naval supremacy. Weapons control. Prepare YJ-21 for immediate launch. Target the American destroyer. This ends now. The missile erupted from the Nanchang's vertical launch cell in a pillar of flame. For 30 seconds, it flew like a conventional cruise missile, staying low. Then its scramjet engine ignited and the weapon accelerated to hypersonic speeds. Aboard the Zumwalt, Petty Officer First Class Marcus Johnson's voice cracked with urgency. "Captain, we have a hypersonic missile inbound, bearing 315, speed Mach 8 and climbing. Time to impact 90 seconds. Mitchell had trained for this scenario in countless simulations, but facing a Mach 10 weapon in actual combat was something entirely different. "All defensive systems engage. SM-6 missiles fire for effect." 6 SM-6 interceptors launched in rapid succession, their combined cost exceeding $30 million. Each missile raced to intercept the Chinese weapon before it could reach its target. The first SM-6 missed by 200 meters. The second achieved a near miss, its proximity fuse damaging the YJ-21's guidance fins but not destroying it. Now flying at Mach 9.2, the Chinese missile began its terminal attack phase. Its onboard AI selected the optimal impact point, the Zumwalt forward vertical launch cells, where a successful hit would detonate dozens of American missiles in a catastrophic secondary explosion. The Zumwalt's final defense was her RAM close-in weapon system. All 11 missiles fired simultaneously, creating a wall of interceptors between the ship and incoming death. The 9th RAM missile achieved a direct hit just 800 meters from the Zumwalt's bow. The YJ-21's 660-pound warhead detonated in a blinding flash, sending shockwaves across the water. But the explosion was too close. The hypersonic weapon's kinetic energy combined with its warhead detonation created a pressure wave that buckled the Zumwalt's forward hull plating. Emergency alarms wailed as seawater flooded forward compartments. Within minutes, both ships were damaged but still fighting. Captain Mitchell knew she had one chance to end this before her ship's damage became critical. The Zumwalt's 15mm advanced gun system had been tracking the Chinese destroyer since the first missile exchange. Now she had a clear firing solution. Gun control, Captain. Commence firing. High explosive rounds, maximum rate of fire.
6 long-range land attack projectiles arced high into the sky before diving toward the Nanchang at terminal velocity. Each GPS-guided projectile carried 24 pounds of high explosive with a circular error probable of less than 10 meters. Captain Lee's point defense systems engaged, intercepting 3 rounds. 3 more penetrated the defensive screen. The first struck the aft superstructure, destroying the helicopter hangar and killing 12 sailors. The second hit amidships, exploding in the galley. The third was devastating. It struck the forward vertical launch cells, detonating 6 unfired missiles in a chain reaction that tore a 40-foot hole in the destroyer's bow. Minutes later, the Nanchang was mortally wounded, forward compartments flooding rapidly, main radar offline, fires burning throughout the ship. But Captain Lee had one final card to play. 2 YJ-21 hypersonic missiles in his aft launch cells, still operational. Weapons control, fire remaining YJ-21 missiles, both missiles simultaneous launch. 2 hypersonic missiles erupted from the sinking Chinese destroyer, their combined $30 million cost representing China's final gamble. Both weapons accelerated to Mach 10, racing toward the damaged American ship. Captain Mitchell watched the incoming threats with calm professionalism. All defensive systems engage both targets. This is our last chance. The Zumwalt's remaining SM-6 interceptors and RAM system engaged in a desperate defensive battle. Both Chinese missiles were destroyed, but fragments from the second weapon's warhead struck the Zumwalt superstructure, causing additional damage and casualties. 3 hours after the engagement began, the Nanchang slipped beneath the waves, taking $1.8 billion in Chinese naval technology and 23 sailors who couldn't be saved. The remaining 317 crew members were pulled from the water by American rescue helicopters, becoming prisoners of war in the first major naval engagement between superpowers since World War II. The Zumwalt survived but was severely damaged. Her forward compartments remained flooded, her stealth coating compromised. The cost of repairs would exceed $800 million. Intelligence analysis revealed startling developments. China's quantum radar had successfully tracked a stealth target at extended range, while their hypersonic weapons had proven nearly impossible to intercept. The United States had demonstrated superior defensive systems and crew training, but the margin of victory was uncomfortably narrow. Emergency sessions convened in Washington and Beijing. For the United States, the battle proved American naval supremacy could no longer be taken for granted. For China, the loss was devastating to both capability and prestige. Both nations now understood that full-scale naval war would result in catastrophic losses with no clear victor.
12 minutes of combat had rewritten the rules of naval warfare. Stealth technology was no longer absolute. Quantum radar could penetrate even sophisticated stealth systems. Hypersonic weapons had demonstrated devastating potential, but also limitations. Victory would go not to the side with the most advanced individual weapons, but to the Navy that could best integrate technology, training, and tactical doctrine. The South China Sea returned to deceptive calm, but the balance of power beneath its waves had shifted forever. The future of naval warfare had arrived, and it was more dangerous than anyone imagined. But perhaps the most chilling revelation came in the weeks following the engagement. Intelligence analysts discovered that both ships had been operating with significant restraints. Neither captain had authorization to use their full nuclear-capable arsenal. Neither had deployed their most advanced electronic warfare capabilities. What the world witnessed in those 12 minutes wasn't the full scope of modern naval combat. It was merely a glimpse, a terrifying preview of what future conflicts could unleash. The wreckage of the Nanchang now rests 85 nautical miles southeast of the Spratly Islands, 3,000 feet below the surface. Chinese salvage operations attempted to recover classified technology, but international observers ensured that sensitive systems remained beyond reach. The site has become an underwater monument to the fragility of modern naval supremacy, a steel tomb holding secrets that both nations would prefer stayed buried. For the sailors who survived, the psychological toll proved as devastating as the physical damage. The crew of the Zumwalt returned to Pearl Harbor as heroes, but many struggled with the reality of what they had experienced. Combat at hypersonic speeds, where decisions measured in seconds determined life or death, where billion-dollar machines could be reduced to burning wreckage in heartbeats. This wasn't the naval warfare of their training simulations. It was something far more brutal, far more unforgiving. The Chinese prisoners of war were eventually repatriated through diplomatic channels, but their testimony revealed uncomfortable truths. Their training was excellent, their equipment sophisticated, their tactics sound. They had simply faced an opponent with marginally better defensive systems and slightly superior crew coordination. The margin between victory and defeat, between survival and death, had been razor thin. A different wind direction, a single sensor malfunction, one incorrect calculation, any of these could have reversed the outcome entirely.